Hello everyone, welcome to What If DxD-verse reacts to different versions of Issei Part 1. Before we start, please go support EventXX for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some wrong he or she calling here because it's translated, so let me clear this. Issei is a male in this story. You guys will hear a person referred as me in the story, that's the author of this story. Now let's begin. Beginning. We can see several beings moving from one side to another, and you'll be wondering, or maybe not, what's going on. Well, it turns out that Issei-verso had disappeared 2 years ago, and since then nobody knows his whereabouts. Some say he went to the Greek pantheon, others to the Aztec, others that he's simply having a normal life, but the reality is different. And I'll show it to you right now. We can see many of the supernatural beings gathered in what appears to be a movie theater, all with serious or surprised expressions, since they were doing their job looking for a boy doing other things, but they all stopped what they were doing when they saw that they were in a place with other supernatural beings, with whom they did not have a good relationship. Demon Shintas cough. I appear before you start fighting supernaturally. I brought you here so you can find out what happened to a certain boy you're looking for, I said, so you can see me. Azazel. Stop joking, who are you? He asked, looking at me. I'm you, pointing to Azazel. Azazel. Oh, he said so that he and I could do a really nice dance. Jokes aside, they're here to see what happened to Issei-verso, I said calmly. What was said surprised them and gave them hope to find out what happened to the boy. Let's get started, I said so the screen would turn on. On screen. We can see Issei walking with his hands in his pockets with a lost look, but what happened for Issei to be in that state? Well, let's go back in time to about 2 hours. Flashback. Issei was flying with some black roses and a pendant with the symbol of the Gremory house, objects which he would give to Ria's Gremory, since black roses are her favorites, and she liked the way the pendant looked, who had a smile. Off screen. Ria's parents and brother sighed due to the gift that they would give to their daughter-sister, since they are one of their family members' favorite objects, although Ria's lowered her gaze, remembering what happened at that moment. On screen. Issei is seen landing and folding his wings so that they disappear and walking through the halls of the Gremory mansion until he meets a maid. Issei. Excuse me, miss, do you know if Ria's is here? I asked, seeing how the maid got nervous. Maid. Why yes, Ria-sama is in her RR room, she said nervously, being interrupted by Issei. Issei. Thank you, miss, he said as he went to the Gremory girl's room. Maid. Wait, Haidu-sama, she said, trying to reach the aforementioned. With Issei. Off screen. Azazel. Don't you have a feeling that something very bad is going to happen? He asked in the air, getting nods from some present. Zeoticus. Don't you think you're exaggerating? I asked, looking at Azazel. Miguel. Although it is also curious how that young lady got nervous when the young Haidu asked about Gremory-san, he said, planting that doubt in those present. On screen. Issei saw something that he never even thought he would see in his darkest dreams. His girlfriend, the girl he had fallen madly in love with, was having sex with some random demon. The extra demon, tell me bitch, when will you finish that stupid fallen one? He asked while doing hex. Off screen. Those present could not believe that the honorable Gremory girl was doing such an improper act, even though she has a boyfriend. It was something they could not believe, and her family. Let's just say that they looked at her with displeasure, disgust, disappointment, and with one thought in mind: we will have a very serious talk when we get out of here or are in private. On screen. EX. Come on bitch, keep honing. Riaz. Kiaya, what's happening? She screamed just to see Issei. Darling. She asked nervously and covered her body. Issei. Had his right hand raised while smoke came out of his hand. Hello Gremory, he said with displeasure. Riaz. It's not what it seems, she said nervously. Issei. Let's see if it wasn't that I saw you having sex with some random demon. I don't know what it was then, he said with slight mockery, here, throwing the roses and the pendant at her. Happy anniversary, he said, as he left quickly under the gaze of the maid, who had a sad expression watching him leave. End of flashback. Off screen. Sona. Approaches Riaz and slaps her. You disgust me, Gremory. I knew you were of low intelligence, but this is being an imbecile, she said, so that her entourage would be surprised. They knew that their king was someone who would never use that language, and hearing it from her was surprising. Tell me no, you'll have me thinking about you all day, planning the strategy for a yes, I thought, although said thought had nothing to do with the current moment. On screen. Change of scene. Now Issei could be seen in his room looking out the window, noticing that it was going to rain, and began to remember. You made me fall in love and just played. And you abandoned me and left me alone. Issei. You made me fall in love and just played, and you abandoned me and left me alone, with a photo and broken inside. It means that I don't matter to you anymore, I don't matter to you anymore. Issei is seen remembering his moments with Riaz, the member of Infidelity, and seeing on his phone a photo of him and Riaz, while the aforementioned made a peace symbol, showing her heart with cracks. Off screen. Some didn't care, Riaz was looking down, Azazel was watching, since he could think that the half-fallen could be like many other fallen, obsessed with power. Zeoticus. Riaz said for the aforementioned to see when we finish this, we will have a very serious talk, is that clear? She asked looking seriously at her daughter. Riaz. Haha, she said nervously. On screen. Issei. Days ago I noticed that you were avoiding me, you didn't answer messages or calls, and when you saw me you were no longer happy, instead of falling in love, it seemed like I was harassing you. Issei is seen in front of Ria's house in the human world, Issei sending messages and calls, but Riaz did not answer any of them, now Riaz without a smile, rather with an irritated look in front of Issei who smiled nervously. Off screen. Brainer. So, I guess the rumors of the demon faction are true, said for everyone to see demons are more likely to be unfaithful, said with a slight mockery. Riaz. Shut up you damn fallen, I'll do anything for her to forgive me and be a couple again, she said angrily, making the others angry with her. On screen. Issei. Now I understand why you were so distant, because you weren't the same as before. But since you left me, he was going to leave you for another, I bet all your love and I was left bankrupt. Off screen. Azazel. Boy, I wasn't the right girl for you, said with a sad smile. I'm sorry Mickey, I couldn't protect your son from any harm, as I promised. He thought to see the screen. On screen. Issei. I don't know whether to laugh at how stupid I was or be happy to get rid of you. You won't get very far with that attitude. I discovered that love isn't complicated. You're the complicated one. Issei is shown laughing and then becoming happy, seeing how Riaz wanted to get something, but she didn't pay attention, and then seeing how Issei looked at Riaz with a thought, that girl is really complicated. Off screen. Brainer. I feel sorry for that fallen mirror, she said with a slight tone of sadness. Gabriel. The lady is right, it is sad what is happening to the boy, he said sadly upon seeing the boy's blue soul. On screen. Issei. But even in love you stumble, you are a lie in life, dressed as a princess, I became a second-class dish, but be careful, because in life everything comes back. You made me fall in love and just played. And you abandoned me and left me alone. With a photo and broken inside. It means that I don't matter to you anymore, I don't matter to you anymore. Off screen. Riaz. I do care about you, Issei, I just didn't think about it at the time, she thought as tears fell from her eyes. Asia. She just looked at Riaz with slight anger, she was angry at what her king did, but she didn't like seeing her friend sad either. Akeno. She didn't see her king, but she looked upset. None of this would have happened if you used the nut you have, instead of a brain, Riaz, she thought angrily. On screen. Issei. I asked you if you really loved me, you said yes and you even repeated it to me. But it cost you nothing to tell me the truth. Even if you put on makeup, your falseness is visible. Issei is seen with his arms crossed in front of Riaz only for her to remain silent, to change the scene and see Riaz putting on makeup under the sad gaze of the maid. Off screen. Riaz. Sigh, seeing all her mistakes just to calm her anger. Then Alana. You disappoint me, daughter, she said, so that Riaz would be surprised. I did not raise a whore, she said with displeasure. Zeoticus. Calm down my dear, later we will dictate our daughter's punishment, he said with his wife in the same tone. On screen. Issei. Your lies equals your best tool, a piece of advice, don't say things you don't feel, but what are you talking about, you who know about tender things, to open your heart, you have to close your legs. Issei is seen lying in his room while around him Mickey was seen speeding past and cleaning his son's room a little, then Issei raised two fingers and closed them, implying that the fingers are the legs. Off screen. Riser. Two mouths and you couldn't keep any of them shut, he said angrily looking at his ex-fiancée. Riaz. Shut up Phoenix, I don't need you to talk right now, she said annoyed seeing the air of the Phoenix house. On screen. Issei. I give you your freedom, do whatever you want, my heart suffers today but heals tomorrow, let's toast to your deception and your pride, pour me a glass of hate to be equal to yours. Issei is seen letting go of Ria's hand as they both go their separate ways, his heart cracked, but quickly said cracks disappear and Issei in a gala suit with a cup with a red-black liquid drinking said liquid. Off screen. Palwana. The melody is sad, but that boy is quite handsome, she said with a slight blush. Rainer. Did you fall in love with a boy? I asked looking at the fallen. Paulana just shrugged while Riaz and some other females frowned. On screen. Issei. Well, you don't care about me, I understand that, your interest is as short as your dress, maybe today I'll cry for you, but tomorrow I'll forget you, you have a pretty face, but a rotten heart. You made me fall in love and just played, and you abandoned me and left me alone with a photo and broken inside, it means that I don't matter to you anymore, I don't matter to you anymore. Issei. Hey, I didn't imagine it would end this way. But be careful, karma takes its toll, it's not your wallet that pays for it. Screen turns off. Okay, any doubts? Any questions? So they can see me. Azazel. Where is the boy? I asked to find him. He is in the future, I said, so they would be surprised after what happened in the Gremory house. He was kidnapped, I think, by Kakabiel to experiment on him, said experiment went wrong, and sent Issei to the future, I explained calmly, then we will see, goodbye, I said to disappear. Infamous. We can see those from the supernatural world where they stayed, although Ria's had her gaze lost and head down, the reason. Easy, her parents gave her a warning and a sermon, saying that if she did that again, she would stop being the heiress of the Gremory house. While Sona and Phoenix were talking about how Issei was with each of them, while Azazel was talking to Miguel about what happened. Until his napkin arrives. How are you? I asked calmly while everyone looked at me. Azazel. Where have you been, kid? He asked, looking at me. I was at home thinking what they would see, I said calmly. Sona. Before, can we see what happened to Issei-san? I asked curiously. Sure, with pleasure, I said so the screen would turn on. On screen. Issei. How long have I been here? I think it's 2 years. I don't think much about it, although this seems like time travel. It came with its benefits. An ability I named reality. But where am I? Simple in America, more specific. Seattle. What am I doing here? Trying out a new environment. Off screen. The supernatural beings were surprised and excited to learn that if they searched they could go to America. Riaz. What is he doing in America? I asked curiously, annoyed. Damn, I'll never be able to get him back like this. Issei knew that in America there was less concentration of supernatural beings, I said calmly. Azazel. Is anyone with him? I asked curiously. Yes, Raynor is with him, calmly watching how Azazel nodded. Azazel. It's not what I expected, but I'm satisfied, sighing. Raynor. I feel insulted, she said indignantly, looking at Azazel. Surziches. And what does that reality ability do? I asked curiously. Riaz. Wasn't Raynor dead? She asked, annoyed. As the name suggests, it creates a reality according to how its user wishes, from one of peace, making the angels happy, to one where the world is guided by lust, making perverted men and women happy, to one where massacres are the order of the day, so that the demons smile maliciously. Let's continue without paying attention to Riaz. On screen. But well, what makes me happy is not having to see Gremory's face. I have things to do, see you. Then Issei. Issei is seen walking to an apartment meeting Raynor, who was wearing a black skirt with a white shirt and a heart. Raynor. Hi, how did it go? She asked, seeing the half-fallen man. Issei. I did well, Ray, tell me, any clue? I asked while the girl shook her head. Raynor. The cameras don't show any movement of corruption or drug or arms trafficking or slave sales, nothing, she said while looking at several screens in front of her. Off screen. The angels were upset to see how their father's creations acted, but they would still protect them. Some of the fallen did not care, while the demons, well, some thought of killing them and then reincarnating them as their servant slaves. On screen. Raynor. What I did notice was a strange sign. Here, this is the address, giving her a piece of paper. Issei. Fine, I'll go investigate, he said before leaving, but not before giving Raynor a kiss on the head, who smiled. Change of scene. Issei is seen on the ground while talking to Raynor. Issei. Well, Ray, I'm here, but it doesn't seem like anything out of the usual, I said over the phone. Raynor. Well, you said you wanted to see him while we were here, right, was what was heard from the other side. Issei. What? The Space Needle? He asked, surprised. Raynor. Space Needle, and with that the call ended. Screen turns off. Raynor was surprised to see that Issei gave her a small kiss on her head, although he did pass his hand over the place of the kiss. Riaz was angry to see that, while the others were calm or did not care. Okay, now let's start. On screen. Issei. I have in my hands the future of this entire city. I decide if I am guided by good or evil. My karma will be the one that changes when I decide to act. We will see for what purposes I will use my ability. Off screen. EventXX. Clearly he will join evil, he said arrogantly. Do you have anything to confirm that? I asked, looking at him so he would stay quiet. You don't even know him and you're saying, what happened, kid? I asked mockingly. So, you'll use your powers for good, I asked with a smile. As he said, we'll see what purposes I'll use my ability for, I said to see the screen. On screen. Infamous. I have incredible powers that grant me the fierceness of an indestructible warrior. I can be an angel, but also a demon. I choose the side and choose to save them or destroy them. Infamous. I must follow my heart, define myself as the blessing or the bane of this frightened population that lives oppressed. What will I do with my life? Infamous second son. Off screen. Serafal. I'll invite him to my show, said the magical girl. Serziches. And what role would he have? I asked because his son was a bit of a fan of the show. Serafal. How about to make people think I already know a delinquent joins a magical girl to defeat evil? Will it just be an alliance or the beginning of a love relationship? I see it in the future, she said with a smile. The younger Gremory was not at all happy about what she said, although of course, she didn't say anything, nor did she want to have problems with one of the Mau. On screen. Issei. Issei-verso is my name, keep it in mind, I have always been called a criminal and a delinquent. If I have one thing clear is that I attack head on, especially if they mess with my people. Off screen. Michael. How thoughtful of you, said the effeminate man from heaven. Azazel. He inherited that from his mother, he said with a smile. Irina. I would like to meet him, she said calmly. Here, Issei being half fallen spent his childhood in Gregory and his adolescence in the human world. Office. How interesting, she said with her typical tone, looking at Issei. On screen. Issei. I have a gift for graffiti, I'm quite an artist, I have an accident and the worst happens to me, I become one of the hunted bioterrorists, although driver sounds nicer. Off screen. Rainer. Bioterrorists? I asked curiously. Kaneko. Driver? She asked with a finger on her chin. Well, let's see, the driver gene or bioterrorist as you want to call it is a gene that existed due to human evolution, where in the beginning and currently they were tried or hunted, as if they were monsters by an organization known by the abbreviation DUP, led by Brooke Augustine, who curiously is also a driver, so yes. A monstrous hunt for other monsters, I explained calmly while they were surprised. On screen. Issei. They damaged everything I had, I have very little left, at least I retain the rage that lives in my veins, everyone will taste the blows of my brutal chains, and the scourge of smoke will be felt in the streets. Off screen. Sona. Smoke. I wonder if it would be. That and others are the nicknames that they have given to Issei in Seattle, I said calmly. Azazel. But he doesn't smoke, right? I asked because if his mother, by chance, comes back to life and finds out that her son smokes, well, goodbye to Raven Jr. On screen. Issei. The Banner Man, that's what they call me, for expressing in drawings what everyone believes, if you fight me you're going to feel the pain, each and every one of those DUP members. Off screen. Azazel. And what are those DUP members like? He asked looking at me. Let's see, to look for an image, here it is, to put the image. Michael. He looks like an officer, he said slightly surprised. Azazel. Will they be as corrupt as those in the human world? I asked mockingly. Gabriel. I don't think so, Azazel, they do. She was interrupted by me. No, actually it's a valid question, as for the DUP being corrupt would be helping the drivers, and yes, one or another was corrupt to see the screen. On screen. And. Infamous. I have incredible powers that grant me the fierceness of an indestructible warrior, I can be a hero, but also a villain. I choose the side and choose to save them or destroy them. Infamous. I must follow my heart, define myself as the blessing or the bane of this frightened population that lives oppressed. What will I do with my life? Infamous second son. Off screen. Hiba. The chorus is good, mentioned the swordsman. Kaneko. Kaneko approves this, she said, raising her thumb in approval. Riaz. It's become incredible, perhaps, and just maybe he can forgive me? She thought hopefully. No way, I thought while shaking my head in denial. On screen. Hi. I am ethereal like smoke, I do not hesitate, I vanish, I travel between ventilation ducts, I assume I am the toughest, I leave them ground like chalk when they feel the blow of my brutal ash missiles. Off screen. Paul's Akeno. Will it also be hard downstairs? They asked in a perverted tone. Kaneko. Gabriel. Akeno senpai Penemueki, said Kaneko expressionlessly, and Gabriel with a blush. Akeno. Phew, you can't deny it, Kaneko-chan, you want to know that too, she said with a perverted tone and smile. On screen. And I'm always the champion, I resort to neon, I travel as fast as light, I offer submission to the enemy, I shoot and unload without losing my aim, I leave them lying down and begging for surrender. Off screen. Howlane. The boy is not bad at all, he said while licking his lips. Serafal. It looks quite extravagant, she said with a smile. Rainer. But it doesn't look bad at all, with a smile. On screen. I do the virtual video invocation and I turn everything digital into something real, I release angels, demons, wild swords, I send them on a journey with the glow of my heavenly fire. Off screen. To show how pixelated clones of Michael and Serziches charge at DUP soldiers. Azazel. I feel left out, he said comically when he saw how only his ex-brother and Serziches were there. Serziches. It's not that big of a deal for Azazel to see it angrily. Michael and I feel used, he said with slight anger. Azazel. You're right about that, then I don't feel so excluded anymore, he said more calmly. Bekeno. Fufu, if he can make clones, it sounds interesting. While an idea of her having hex with clones of Issei and himself, while having the clones penizes in his heinous, hussy, mouth passed through her mind. Riaz was about to speak until I interrupted her by appearing behind her with a baseball bat. I felt the need to do that, I thought calmly. On screen. Issei. It's amazing how I absorb everything I touch, crazy, I'm recognized throughout Seattle, which is no small feat, now only Augustine and his concrete powers remain. So I launch into the attack with the force of a cyclone. Off screen. Serafal. Who is that woman? I ask seriously, she wouldn't let someone hurt her, Ice-chan. Augustine is the head of the entire DUP, she is in charge of turning drivers into weapons so that the DUP remains in force, I summarize calmly. On screen. Infamous. I have incredible powers that grant me the fierceness of an indestructible warrior, I can be a hero, but also a villain, I choose the side and choose to save them or destroy them. Infamous. I must follow my heart, define myself as the blessing or the bane of this frightened population that lives oppressed. What will I do with my life? Infamous second son. Screen turns off. Well. What did you think? I asked looking at the beings. Azazel. Could the boy have those abilities? I asked while the other beings wanted him in their features. Yeah, I could have them, just use reality and bang, and he has them, I said calmly. Serafal. Can he be on my show? She asked excitedly. 30/50ths, I said waving my hands. Well, bye, I said to leave. Ghoul. Well, how are you? How are you doing after what we saw before? I asked calmly. Michael. Well, it's not like we saw anything bad, he said calmly. Azazel. It was rather interesting to see that version of the boy, he said putting a hand on his chin. Bekeno. How is Issei-kun? I asked with a slight tone of concern. Calm down, he's okay, he's with Raynor, I think he doesn't remember that I said before that he was out of danger, I said thought while moving my right hand unimportantly. Any doubts, any questions? Asia. Now what version of Issei-san will we see? Asked the ex-nun wearing a red t-shirt, pants and a white trench coat. We'll see an interesting version, I said excitedly. Okay, enough of all this chatter, let's get started to see the screen. On screen. Issei. It's been a while since I've been the same. I'm drawn to cannibalism. Off screen. Asia. Cannibalism? She asked as her face turned slightly green. Zenobia. How disgusting, she said with a grimace of disgust. Azazel. Consuming human flesh, I just find it repulsive, serious tone. And so they continued to give their opinions on cannibalism until I spoke. Did you know that cannibals' favorite part is their hands? I asked so they could see me. Riaz. How do you know that? She asked looking at me. Honey, why do you think the internet exists? Just to waste time on those games? I asked to see the screen. I felt like the boss, I thought funny. On screen. Issei. I can't take it anymore, I want this to stop, I don't know how to do it, can someone explain to me, why do I feel this way? This hunger can get to me. I want to devour all beings, and at the same time I don't want to be one of them. Off screen. Gabriel. Will you be one of them? I ask with concern as I listen to the words. A subspecies of humans who can only feed on human flesh, water and coffee, I said lazily. Michael. So he doesn't eat humans just because he wants to, being interrupted by Azazel. Azazel. If not, because he has no other choice, he said understanding. Well, I'll tell you, some do eat humans because they want to or they even eat themselves, I said calmly, while many felt disgust again. On screen. Issei. My eye lights up with red flashes, I have suffered so much torture and damage and I see that the years have soon passed, I don't want to kill. Off screen. Michael. What do you see, Gabriel? I ask seriously. Gabriel. His soul has black colored cracks, he said with slight concern. Michael. Maybe we can help him become one of us, he said as his sister regained some hope. Michael, I'm going to ask you something and I want you to answer me truthfully, I said seriously. Do you think Issei would want to become one of you? Become an angel and at the slightest fall again? You know that there are ways for a fallen to return to normal, but then why don't they go back to heaven? Easy, being a fallen one they have much more freedom than being an angel, I said calmly, while Michael reflected. On screen. Issei. But I have to do it, I've eaten humans, I can't believe it, and now I know that I'm an addict, I'm in the middle of this conflict, they attack us, their queen kill us. Off screen. Riaz. Quink. What is that? I ask interested. A quink is a weapon that has been created when the kagyun is melted, which is a muscle weapon of the ghoul. Extracted from it aforementioned within a layer of quink steel, the quink emits electrical signals that stimulate the kakyu to release and control the kagyun explain, while some fainted among them Rias, Asia, Murayama, and other beings. Ravel? They? I ask worried about the crow. They refer to the Ghoul Countermeasures Commission or abbreviated CCG, an organization that also uses the aforementioned quinks. I said to continue with the screen. On screen. Issei. Damn this life, it catches me and kills me, I didn't ask for this, I didn't want to be her, I found myself captive because I was so beautiful. Off screen. Rainer. Who are you referring to? I asked with a slight touch of jealousy, which surprised her. Refers to Azazel's right-hand man, Penemu, causing shock to those present, plus to Penemu herself. Asia. What happened to Penemu-san? I asked curiously. Penemu died when some beams fell on her during a construction and Issei was injured, passing her organs to an injured Issei, along with the fact that Penemu's consciousness resides in Issei's mind for a while to let out a sigh. For some reason Rainer wanted to kill or at least hurt Penemu, but she calmed down, after all it would be like facing an ant against a dog. On screen. Issei. That made me like this, a different ghoul, believe it or not, I care about people. It's something that comes from deep inside. I have certain doubts and I don't find myself, I don't want to be one of so many like there are. I'm more sinister, and I can be someone very different, I've lost friends and many people, I don't want to be just another murderer. Off screen. Gabriel. How sad is the chorus, he said in a sad tone. Rainer, calm down my dear partner, mommy will help you get out of those troubles, she thought, while having a slightly lustful smile. Tix, now what have you done watching the news on my phone about a giant being flying over Mexico? Kunu? What is he doing? Appearing on my right shoulder. Holy God, I thought to see Kunu. I'll tell you later, little one, to make her disappear and appear in her place next to her mother. On screen. Issei. I don't want any more of this cruel pain, my whole heart is being poisoned, I keep waiting every hour to see if my situation improves. Off screen. Saji. Economical said, trying to be funny only to get hit by Sona. Sona. This is serious, Saji, keep quiet, she said with her typical tone and her unforgettable movement of glasses. Then Alana. Calm down, Ice-chan, Venilana Ka-chan will help you with everything you need to discreetly lick her lips. On screen. Issei. I can't take it anymore. Losing you was much more painful, I don't want this life, this is horrible, Kiba, why? I don't feel you anymore, I know I've failed you. Off screen. Kiba. What does that mean? Searching for answers in me, but I was busy with other things. Pale, where are you? While looking at an image of what appears to be some sort of six-legged mare. Momo. Maybe he's thinking about something important. Asked the albino looking at her king. On screen. Issei. And the suffering, I can't. Lose you guys too, I don't want to, I'm sorry, let's escape, come on. Off screen. Rias. He means me, she said, pointing at herself with a confident smile. Sona. I don't agree, Rias, she mentioned Kiba-san earlier, and in her words, you can see that she's referring to other people as well, she said, making Rias growl slightly in frustration. Serafal. Ice-chan will be fine, I trust him, she said with slight concern, causing those present to be surprised. What? Is my hair messy? She asked while looking at her pigtails. Serziches. This is the first time you care about a man, we even thought you were a lesbian or would join Lady Artemis and her hunters, he said with slight grace. Serafal. I didn't plan on joining Artemis and her little group of virgins, but what if I was a lesbian? Would that be a problem? Any changes? Any treaty? With each question the atmosphere became colder and she approached Serziches, standing face to face with the aforementioned, and with eye stakes surrounding him. I ask you questions, answer now, she said in a cold tone. Serziches. And no, of course not, it wouldn't mean any inconvenience, change your treatment toward you, he said slightly nervous. Serafal. Changes her cold gaze and disappears the eye stakes, replacing them with a smile. Okay, let's keep watching to look at the screen and hum. It's not true, I just turned around for a second, stopping looking at the scene. On screen. Issei. You were my support, the shoulder to cry on, the only ones I could value, and now I have your body in my arms. Off screen. The acquaintance's thoughts were the same, who is Issei-kun? Ice-chan, I-san, Haidu-kun, Haidu-san referring to. Sona. What is this feeling I feel? Why am I worried about Haidu? She thought while unconsciously bringing a hand to her chest in concern. Lady Citri. You suffered a lot, boy, I'm sorry, Mickey, it seems that I couldn't keep my promise either, she thought sadly. On screen. Issei. Your blood spills into my lap, I'm truly sorry, I don't know what happened, I just asked to see you and be forgiven. Off screen. Riser. Don't you have a feeling that something bad will happen? Said only to receive a nod from his peerage and others present. Who knew? Oka-san Kro-san will be okay? I asked curiously. Isaka. Holding back the urge to laugh under the gaze of Azazel and other fallen ones, she was able to say why yes daughter, Kro-san will be fine. On screen. Issei. It was my fault, I was not responsible, only you came for me to talk to you, you were my friends, I was just trying. Off screen. Riser. Hey, how's that? You're not a try, you're the best friend that many of us here can have was his thought, while some people inexplicably nodded. On screen. Issei. I remember as children every moment that we played and you were with me, you needed me and I wasn't with you, I wanted to be half ghoul, and I didn't do it well, may this war end and the fight too. Off screen. Gabriel. War. Fight. He asked slightly sadly, not liking any conflict. A fight between, as far as I understand, the CCG and the ghouls I said without importance while looking at my phone and thinking, and you leave slipping into the opportunity to escape I thought looking at the screen. On screen. Issei. Kiba, I'm sorry, I couldn't save you, Riser, I'm sorry for being such a coward, Mitlet, forgive me. Only if you want, Rainer, I'll die if you die. Off screen. Michael. It is noticeable that young Kiba, young Riser and young Mitlet and Rainer are the anchors of young Haidu he said with a slightly surprised tone. Murayama. Why are Kiba-kun and the other three anchors? She asked while Riser, Mitlet and Rainer looked at her offended, but no one answered they broke the flea's heart while she was shedding comical tears. I will explain what an emotional anchor is another time I said calmly while Murayama recomposed himself and nodded. On screen. Issei. There is no end to loneliness, it will tie me to that cross, my mind will stab, I will no longer be able to laugh, will you stop, 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 will you stop today? Off screen. Gabriel. I promise to help you Kro-kun, or else I'll stop calling myself Gabriel, he thought with a determined look. Let's see when they learn that facing me is like rubbing salt in the wound, if in Morax's home there are more as not lives, I review the past now with more spears that approach, a petrification that reacts to being gravel, geologically, I possess a millionaire sum of roads to be the way to your funeral home, I will not accept more prayers if you break this contract. You will die in front of the rock I thought sang while finishing the rap to think about what the next one is. The office. You are someone very interesting Haidu Issei he thought with slight interest. On screen. Issei. It's something that comes from deep within, I have certain doubts and I can't find myself, I don't want to be one of so many I'm more sinister, and I can be someone very different, I've lost friends and many people, I don't want to be just another murderer. Screen turns off. What did you think? I asked calmly. Gabriel. I will help him or else he will stop calling me Gabriel she said seriously and determined. Who knew? Is Mr. Crow okay? She asked with her fox ears down. Isaka. You'll see that she's fine, dear she said trying not to make her daughter sad. Serafal. He needs a magical girl to help him she said with allergy and pointing at herself. Okay, that's it, bye I said to leave. Beelzebub. Hi, how are you? How is the supernatural and normal world? I asked calmly, looking at the supernatural beings and a few normal ones. I feel like saying normal now sounds a little racist I don't know why. The supernatural world was thinking about the above scene, although of course, the ancient demons were looking for some way to have that type of humans in their ranks for their own purposes, while the humans were thinking about that brown-haired boy, although Murayama was more thoughtful, since she has the feeling of perhaps seeing him before, but she would see that later. Hello? Kidnapper calling living beings I asked while moving my hand so they could see me. Murayama. What are we going to see now? I asked curiously. Surziches. Does it have something to do with the demons? He asked looking at me. Azazel. With the Fallen. Same question came from the mouth of the leader of the Fallen. No, Michael or Azazel, it has nothing to do with their faction, Surziches is right, it has to do with the demons I said it so Surziches and other demons would pay attention. Zeoticus. Does it have to do with my daughter's ex-boyfriend? I asked curiously seriously. Yes, and it's a recent version, this Issei is a descendant of the original Beelzebub being interrupted by Serafal. Serafal? Another descendant of the original Beelzebub? I asked with slight grace and serious tone, knowing what the previous descendant of the original Beelzebub looked like. Yes, but this one is much better I said calmly, and for those who are wondering, yes, her mother is still Mickey, making light and darkness come together once again, without further ado, let's begin for the screen to light up. On screen. Issei. I could never live as a normal person, I was hated and erased from this world, in desolation, there was no emotion, within my dying heart. Off screen. Surziches. Are you sure he is a descendant of Beelzebub? I asked, slightly surprised. I thought he would be like the other. I said this would be better, I said, shrugging my shoulders. Seraphol. The question is, how much? She asked curiously. Rainer. My ice-kun became a demon. Wait. Since when is he my ice-kun? I thought, asked and exclaimed it, or thought while blushing without knowing the reason. Asper. I'm scared, while hiding behind a Keno who laughed lightly at the attitude of the half-vampire Rag. On screen. Issei. And murmurs speak of my curse, it is a poison that without compassion, darkened my gloomy vision, but suddenly a light came, which showed me without a doubt, that this life is not so bad. Off screen. Vitlet. Curse? She asked with slight concern, surprising those who knew her. What? She asked curiously. Palwarna. It's one of the few times you worry about someone other than yourself, she said, surprised. Rainer. You are not one to talk either, Kalwarna, you are also worried about that boy, she said with jealousy. Palwarna. And you even have wet dreams about him, or did you forget? I asked. Act why yes, Issei-sama, cause punish this filthy and get up bitch who has a CO as a bodyguard to stop acting. You should be careful, Ray-chan, we don't want that boy to find out what you dream about, right? I asked mockingly. Some women were blushing, while others had a perverted smile as they imagined themselves in the act with our chestnut, while the men had a perverted look and lustful smile again as they saw the leather of the falls. Returning to the curse, Issei has another personality, which is sealed by his mother to prevent Beelzebub's nature from coming out, I said, slightly serious. Seraphol. This is going to get ugly, she said with a bad feeling. Irina. Please Seraphol-sama, you have to be optimistic, she said, hoping that the magical girl is wrong. On screen. Issei. And he gave me help to withstand the bullets that my naked soul received, but in his wings, I felt that he shielded me from every harsh situation. Off screen. Murayama. Even other demons protect themselves more than humans themselves, giving a sigh of disappointment at how sometimes demons seem to be better than them. Yes, but they also don't stray from their instincts to see how demons sometimes killed their descendants or ancestors for being weaker than them or other things. Then Alana. It depends on how the demons were raised, giving her opinion being supported by Lady Citri and other mothers. On screen. Issei. Everything was so perfect that it only seemed like a dream to me. I found myself smiling, I was so happy if they were there, but suddenly that turned into hell, some bastard ended their lives. Off screen. It is seen how the face of some beings changed to one of surprise when they saw how a muscular albino man with 3 pairs of wings on his head, and next to him another silhouette of a chubby man with horns, wearing a black shirt with white circles, and a man with a serious face were lifeless under the astonished gaze of Issei. Irina. Who is he? She asked, slightly blushing when she saw the man. He is the original Lucifer. I said this so that you will be surprised to see the appearance of the original Lucifer. Rainer. And the guy next to Lucifer? I asked curiously. Holding back my laughter, it's Azazel, so that the laughter wouldn't take long to come. Well, Azazel himself couldn't believe it and just went to a corner to get depressed. Zenobia. And the third man? She asked with her expressionless face. As surprising as it may be for the angels, he is Samuel, for Michael to speak. Michael. But if Lucifer was Samuel before he fell, he said, surprised. Here, if you could clarify for me if Samuel and Lucifer were different beings in DxD, that is something I finally understood, thank you. On screen. There is no love anymore. If everything always turns into pain. Being alone will be the best. Let their voices curse me because they no longer hurt me. There is no love anymore. The darkness that I carry inside me. I erase the little hope that I kept for my happiness, but only I am left with hate. Off screen. Gabriel found himself with small tears in his eyes running down his cheeks due to the chorus and the color of Issei's soul. Gabriel. Poor boy, even though he is the son of Beelzebub, he does not deserve any of the mistreatment he receives, with a sad tone being comforted by Griselda. Griselda. Don't worry, Gabriel-sama, everything will be fine, have faith in young Issei, she said, trying to comfort her king. I think it won't be possible, I thought to see the screen. On screen. Issei. Tormented, I wanted to find a solution, and revenge became my only obsession. Where was the damned one who, without compassion, murdered my friends in front of my face? Suddenly, that one appeared. Off screen. Rainer Ria's Irina. Who is she? They asked with jealousy, seeing that woman near Issei. Rap itself will say it, I said it with grace. Murayama. Why do all of that handsome guy's acquaintances have bigger breasts than me? She thought while getting a little depressed. On screen. Issei. Girl who showed me the beauty part of this life, and she always followed my same footsteps. We went to the edge of the sky to find it, we went down to hell without being able to find it. Off screen. Michael. How can they be in heaven? I asked curiously. Viteria. Why couldn't I have that boy as Beelzebub's descendant and companion instead of the other idiot? She thought with annoyance while blushing for no apparent reason. Slow down, speedster, I thought while reading the thoughts of the descendant of the original Leviathan. On screen. Issei. We left everything to try to catch him, but we failed and we couldn't get revenge. I have no idea. Where is my whole mind? Plans. To tear my enemy apart. Once again Lilith calmed my heart, my loneliness was shattered by our love. Off screen. Lilith was shown as a beautiful woman with a slightly macabre smile, with a tattoo going through her left eye, another across her chest to the beginning of her breasts, and another on her left chest, along with 2 pairs of bat wings on her head. The demons were surprised to discover that the being referred to in the rap was none other than their mother, while the angels felt uncomfortable looking at Adam's first wife. Viteria. Aunt Lilith. She asked surprised. Hades. Isn't Lilith supposed to be Lucifer's wife? I asked curiously. Viteria. Of course not, it's just that those mummies of the demonic council lied from the beginning. Lilith was always Beelzebub's partner, only since Lucifer was stronger than Beelzebub, Leviathan and Asmodeus, they lied by pairing Lilith with Lucifer, she explained, while looking at the mummies angrily. Ajuka. You and we have to talk very seriously while Serziches, Seraphol and Falbium nodded, although Falbium with a yawn. On screen. Issei. And without wanting it I understood that it was me. The killer. There's no love anymore. If everything always turns into pain. Being alone will be the best, let their voices curse me because they no longer hurt me, there is no love anymore. The darkness that I carry inside me. I erase the little hope that I kept for my happiness, but only hate remains to me. Off screen. Several had a mix of emotions as they now see that Issei had pierced Lilith's stomach with his left arm and had a sadistic look and smile. Raphia. Why did Issei Sama kill Lilith? She asked, surprised at how the boy killed the mother of demons. How cow? It seems that he didn't want to do it, look how his look changed to one of pain, sadness and fear, he said, so that you pay attention. Ajuka. It seems the seal was broken after all, he said with a sigh. Then Alana. So he also killed the other Lucifers, Samael and Azazel, apparently, she said, giving her point. On screen. Issei. With my beloved in my arms. Dying and all because of me, my soul torn to pieces. Without being able to offer an apology, and the pain in my being caused me a wound, seeing the love of my life vanish, but she asked me to live with courage until I get revenge on him. Off screen. Arena. Wait, I don't understand anymore, if he was the one who killed all his friends, how will he get revenge? She asked, surprised, curious. I just shrugged my shoulders to say I don't know, was my vague response. Ajuka. Maybe eliminate the other personality that killed his friends, he speculated while some nodded. Riser. My friend, everything will be fine, just trust, he said, slightly worried about the boy who changed him. On screen. Issei. There is no love anymore. If everything always turns into pain. Being alone would be the best thing, let their voices curse me because they no longer hurt me, there is no love anymore. I am a victim of immortal suffering. I was the vile criminal myself. Who murdered my friends because I carry with me a cruel demon. Screen turns off. So. What did you think? I asked curiously. Viteria. That boy would be a better descendant of Lucifer than Shalba, sighing. Leisha. I would have more control than my uncle, said the bitch with disgust at the mention of uncle. It's not meant to be insulting, that's literally one of his nicknames. Ajuka. Why do you hate me, Leisha? She asked, looking at her relative. Leisha. And you still ask. You created objects to bring those aberrations called demons, pointing to Ria's, Sona and Riser's entourage. Ajuka. If I did it, it was because the demon faction was almost extinct, he said in a serious tone. Leisha. Yes, and it is likely that in the future we will have overpopulation due to so much of that rubbish, in an annoyed tone. Riaz. I tolerate you humiliating me, Leisha Astareth, but I will not allow you to mess with my peerage, preparing her powers. Sona. Not even with mine, while releasing her aura. Riser. And much less with mine also releasing his aura. Then they start fighting. For the moment we leave it here, putting myself between the now heiress Astareth and the Gremory heirs, Citri and Phoenix, although I share Leisha's opinion that Issei-Beelzebub would take the reins better than Ajuka, so that Leisha smiled slightly. Well, that's all, goodbye to leave. Cosmic fear. A few hours passed since Issei was seen. Leisha still believed that Issei would have a better reign than his uncle. Riaz, Sona and Riser were still upset with her for insulting their nobility. Azazel, Venelana and Lady Citri were thinking that Issei's mother would give something if he were a descendant of Beelzebub, until I appeared again with an aura of laziness. Yawn Holland again while rubbing my eye. Seraphol. You can tell he's sleepy, she said, looking at me. No, I said sarcastically. What makes you think that Mao Leviathan, I said grumpily, making her nervous. Sona. Changing the subject while Seraphil internally thanked her younger sister. What will we see now? She asked seriously. The previous universe made her see that there are some dangerous essays. Another one of the new is stand most interesting to yawn slightly and turn on the screen. On screen. Rainer. Legends say that to be the strongest and best man, you must defeat the fist that turned against God, the fist of God. Off screen. Humans, angels. God. Father. They exclaimed in surprise. Gabriel. Ha, father are true? He asked as he began to sob. Hadis. Why is she sobbing? In a worried tone. Becabiel. Starting to laugh. That's because God is dead, so that humans, exorcists etc. are surprised. Murayama. You lie surprised. Ika. So the prayers and all that, I ask equally surprised. Michael. So you can see I take care of that along with other things to turn your gaze. Okay, let's continue now, I said while they continued thinking about what they had just discovered. On screen. Issei. I can break all the tiles now, man, my hits are perfect, and now I find this. Is this lizard a dragon? Off screen. The dragons present felt insulted, while others found it funny, like the Mayus, humans, fallen, etc. Leisha. Well, they do look alike, she said mockingly. Office. We don't look alike at all, he said with a monotonous face but angry tone. Correction, so you can see me as far as I know, both have claws, fangs, are cold-blooded, quadrupeds, forked tongue. Do you want me to continue? I asked calmly. Office didn't say anything and just stared at the screen. On screen. Issei. My evil does not discriminate, I myself will tear you to pieces, because to be the absolute evil, I must win, and thus this filthy world I can dominate. Off screen. Well, it was shown how Issei fought against angels, demons, gods, dragons, fallen ones, etc. Isaka. Why does he fight against the factions? In a serious tone. You'll find out later, with a yawn and a calm smile. Surziches. Falbium found a rival funny. Bajuka. Only this one doesn't sleep yet, he said, and then thought better about what he said. On screen. Issei. Since we were little, no faction helped us, that's why I don't want to stop until they suffer my pain, but I have rarely seen myself surpassed. Off screen. Ali. I want to fight him, said with a challenging smile. Jean. What do you think? Cao Cao, the descendant of Jean Dark, asked the bearer of the true Longinus. Cao Cao just limited himself to watching what was shown, strange that he said little or nothing in all that they carried, because I didn't even remember this guy. On screen. Issei. And now I hate this situation, shut up to win, I put everything aside, and I lose to a greater power, kill me, I want to die, much more if I lose like this, I prefer it to be my end, but thank God I got up again, the evil has only just begun. Off screen. Murayama. Didn't they say that God was dead? He asks looking at me. There is something called the astral realm, where Elohim is currently located, I said calmly, a place where only the soul can enter. Vague explanation. Sona. But logically, to get to that place you have to. Being interrupted by Ajuka. Ajuka. Die term of saying. Not necessarily, there are other methods, but in any case Issei did, he was between life and death, he met Elohim, giving him what you see now with a smile. Uriel. Why would father do that? He asked, exclaimed looking at me. Please tell me if I got the wrong character. It will be revealed later, I said so he would look at me angrily. On screen. The evil has just begun, you better run away from it, the cosmic fear is going to be reborn, the weak part is gone and does not plan to return, God himself was the one who gave me the power to win. Claro, the herald has awakened, barbarian, the monster is no longer fallen, is Issei. Off screen. Gabriel and the lawless were shaking scared because of the chorus. Look at you, it rhymes. Michael. Gabriel, what do you see in his soul? I asked seriously. Gabriel. His soul, catching the attention of Michael and others present. I can't see his soul, so they're surprised. Hineko and Kunu hugged their sister mother, although Kuroka was surprised, but she just returned the hug and lightly caressed her sister to calm her down and start purring. On screen. Thank you, I have a power capable of crossing galaxies, my energy flow is beyond logic. The herald has awakened, cosmic terror has already been awakened. I see everything, I see through you. Off screen. In more ways than one, I said this to make some women blush, some get angry, and some smile. Rias. With a blush. Not even in other universes do you stop being perverted, she whispered a little loudly. Akeno. Fufufu, Ice-kun, you can see through me all you want, in a perverted tone. Motohama. That bastard steals the girl's attention, in an annoyed tone. But the boy with glasses said, upset the woman who looked at him with threatening eyes, making him tremble. Hineko. "Shut your mouth you idiot," with an annoyed tone but expressionless face. Man. But what an idiot, they thought, looking at him with pity. On screen. Issei. His powers are mine and they go with the force of the cosmos, nuclear attacks, power of destruction, the supernatural is afraid, and Issei the infinity mode. Off screen. Office. Infinite. I ask, interested. Surziches. He uses weapons from the human world and the power of the Bale clan, he said, surprised. One of the many things that Elohim gave you so that you get nervous now. Gabriel. Father, wouldn't he do that? You are right on Ani-sama. I ask, looking at Michael. Michael. Remembering his father, and no, he wouldn't be able to do it, he told a slight lie to his sister, who nodded slightly. On screen. Issei. I am absolute evil, at last. The features fall to the ground as I only cry stars. Red tries to stop me here, but he only died in the most beautiful way, ripping out his heart. Take this. Off screen. Zeoticus. I killed Great Red. He exclaimed, surprised and serious upon seeing the dragon's body on the ground. Rojo looked at that seriously and with interest as he saw how a half-fallen man had killed him with the power of the biblical god. Another kind of evangelization. Instead of changing you, it will kill you. Analyzing. Seraphol. How come the factions fell silent? Asked, exclaimed with concern and fear. Simple, Elohim saw how his creation's children did nothing but harm humans, just like the fallen, demons and other factions. Instead of helping or staying out of it, they only affected humans, I said seriously. Michael. But we help humans. He exclaimed indignantly. Yeah, with their reincarnated system, the Holy Sword Project, they don't even bother to check if the Vatican's intentions are good, leaving Michael speechless. Azazel. I'd rather keep quiet to remain silent. And you do well to nod. Neither do the demons, who mostly only benefit from the misfortunes or evils that people suffer. The gods are not saved either, especially the Greeks, so that these factions remain silent. Not even Office is saved from being included, so that she sees me. Office. What do you think I did? She asked, looking at me. Let me think so, creating a damn terrorist group just on a whim like the time gap. I mean, isn't it easier to share the place with Rojo than to let everything to senseless destruction? I asked, looking at her as she turned her head. Then Alana. I'm sorry Mickey, but what a strong, handsome, powerful man, I want him to hit me. I got pregnant. And he abandoned me. She thought while blushing slightly, and Zeoticus felt a pang that he ignored. Damn, miss, she's a she-devil, it's normal, surprised and then calming down. On screen. Issei. Maybe now you'll be serious, in the palm of my hand the taste of the universe, after so long, my time has come. Off screen. Everyone watched as Issei threw the red heart to Office, who was serious, although the angels and a few other beings were angry at what he did. Raphael. He gives her a heart as if it were nothing more than an object, he said, annoyed. Well, some people give flowers, others chocolates, jewelry. Issei. He gives hearts, I said, funny. Well, Raphael looked at me angrily. Gabriel was just sobbing as he watched how that half-fallen version had completely fallen into the now cosmic darkness. Gabriel. Pa, father, why did you do that? He whispered as tears fell from his beautiful eyes. That's easy, Gabriel, you met your father when he had already changed. You met him in the New Testament, where he is shown as someone kind, benevolent and other good things, but in the Old, he was the opposite, a being who was only a tyrant, caused disasters among other things, so that Gabriel loses the sparkle in his eyes. Gabriel. Looks at his brother H. He's lying right on Ani-sama, hoping his brother says yes. Michael. I'm sorry, Gabriel, but he's telling the truth. Father used to be a dictator until you were created, so now Gabriel's gaze is completely lost. Congratulations, so they can see me now, it's broken so they can see me angry. On screen. The evil has just begun, you better run away from it, the cosmic fear is going to be reborn, the weak part is gone and does not plan to return, God himself has been the one who gave me the power to win, Claro, the herald has awakened, barbarian, the monster is no longer fallen, is Issei. Off screen. Kiba. Although the chorus is a little scary, it's good enough for some men to nod. Hineko unconsciously brought out her features so that her tail fluffed up from nervousness or fear, while Riaz and Kuroka caressed her head while they looked at each other with rivalry for the albino loli. Maybe Kuroka is like Surziches and Seraphol. I thought, asked, looking at Kuroka. On screen. Rainer. Legends say. That to be the strongest and best man, you must defeat the fist that turned against God, the fist of God. Off screen. Azazel. How is she still alive? He asked, surprised. Rainer. Thank you for worrying about me, she said sarcastically. Remember that I am the partner and bodyguard of the son of your best fall in the past, with an annoyed tone, looking at Azazel. Azazel. I know, idiot, I know, with a slightly annoyed face. Let's continue, it's almost over so you can see the screen. On screen. Issei. Yo. I want to win and I will achieve it because I have total power. In this fight I will achieve victory, although that is another story. Michael Azazel Surziches. The monster is no longer a fallen, it is the fist of God. Screen turns off. Me? What do you think? I asked, not sleepy anymore. AD. We need that power, said an old man in a greedy tone. Me? It's a shame that Elohim no longer exists, at least not physically, so that the demons get upset. Riser. Sacrifice, the Gremory graciously being hit in the head by his mother. Lady Phoenix. This is serious, you idiot, in a scolding tone. Michael. It would be good if young Issei doesn't meet father, shivering slightly. Me. Well, that's all, bye to go. Martinez. To be honest, I lost the inspiration of the lust-driven world in this fic, so there's nothing left to say but sorry. Me. Hi, how are you? I asked without letting them answer. Let's get started right away so the screen would turn on. On screen. The guitar solo begins to be heard until it is combined with a drum giving a rock rhythm, and Issei's voice begins to be heard. Issei. No, it was my fault to have been born in so much pain, I should have swallowed my sadness and drawn courage from my suffering. Off screen. Ravel. What does Issei-sen mean? I asked curiously without receiving an answer. Hello? I asked looking at myself. Me. I was staring into space, remembering Rebecca, and to think that those were her last words, I thought with a sad sigh. On screen. Issei. I lost everything and it was terrible. I was left alone in this fierce world, and so I had to earn a living, because I was abandoned by God. Off screen. Enemu. What does the boy mean by he lost everything? Looking at me curiously. Me. Issei and his mother were returning from school after a problem generated by Issei, but he and she were caught in the middle of a shootout, where the mother of the half-fallen man ended up losing her life, where he feels that God abandoned him, I said looking at the screen. The Keno felt sad and identified with this variant of Issei, both lost their mother, only one feels abandoned by God and the other hates and blames her father. Off screen. Issei. No, I had no choice but to overcome fear and advance through blood, violence and putrefaction, yo. The doubts that are in me, still wander in my soul. I feel more than for you, I feel more than for you, I can transcend them. Off screen. Sona. Who is she? She asked with her typical serious expression. Tsubaki. The girl seems to be quite talented at what she does, just like her king. Me. That girl is older than you too, and she's talented. She's quite talented in data theft, I said calmly. Kaneko. What is your name and what is Issei-senpai? With her stoic but curious expression. Me. Her name is Lucy and she was Issei's girlfriend, just to surprise you. Am I the only one who thought she was Kyokajier when I saw her? Motohama. That damn crow always has the best girls, he said, annoyed, being followed by his friend. The Keno. That's why they're still virgins, she said with annoyance, while the perverted duo became depressed. On screen. I must be strong. And everything I will resist, blindly seeking more power, and no matter what I must break my body, I will not give up everything I will resist, blindly seeking more power, and no matter what I must break my body, because I will never give up. Off screen. The fallen were all wondering, blindly seek more power. Until it occurred to them that he might be the bearer of the Red Emperor Dragon. Rias. Seek power? I asked curiously. Surziches. Knowing how Issei-kun is, he would use it to protect his loved ones, so that the nobility of Rias, Riser, Leisha and others would nod. 70% of Issei's would use it for that calmly. Grafia. And the other 30. Seriously. Get an idea, so that Grafia and others opened their eyes in surprise. On screen. Issei. I soon understood that everything is momentary, life showed me cruelty, hey. Anger, fear, everything has mixed up in me, I can no longer do what I promised, today I remain desolate because my conviction was broken. Off screen. Riser. What did Issei promise? I asked interested. He promised to protect his team, he promised his leader before he died, so they nod. Who knew? It must be difficult to carry a promise of that size, so Yasaka nods. On screen. Issei. I no longer have peace, I have lost a beat, I feel like it will never end, this hell that has left me, turned to ashes, but I must be tenacious, the doubts that are in me have vanished from my soul, and I feel that for you, I can transcend them. And I must be strong. And everything I will resist, blindly seeking more power, and no matter what I must break my body, I will not give up everything I will resist, blindly seeking more power, and no matter what I must break my body, because I will never give up. Off screen. Who knew? The chorus is very good, she said with a smile, while her tails and ears moved with joy. Isaka. Daughter, you are right, while stroking her head with a slight smile. Azazel. Your son inherited your determination, my old friend with a melancholic voice and a tear falling from his right eye. Meanwhile on the spiritual plane. Mickey. Why do I feel like plucking Azazel? I ask in the air. Nah, maybe it's nothing to continue with his own thing. Back with us. Michael. Are you crying? He asked looking at his brother. Azazel. I'm not crying, wiping away the tear and putting it in Michael's eye. You're the crybaby looking away. On screen. While the instrumental was playing, Issei's face was seen changing at times into that of a giant red dragon with green eyes who smiled defiantly. Issei. They won't stop me, they won't stop me now. Greg. I'm going. Issei, let's. Greg. Go. Issei. Get. Greg. Out. Issei. Break. Greg. Down. Off screen. The factions were shocked because they just saw Issei become the Securite. Bria's. Issei was what came out of her mouth when she saw how her ex had the Red Emperor dragon. Gabriel. Sir, surprising as the charging symbol somehow appeared above his head. Me. Looking at Gabriel, processing system error, please try again, seeing how Gabriel almost fainted. On screen. While a guitar solo was playing, images of Issei with Kaneko who had a minigun and Kiba who was driving a van were shown, others where Issei shot a red beam at several moving vehicles, Issei on an overturned truck while leaving a trail of different colors, and time seemed to go slow, and then the lyrics resumed. Issei. I must be strong and I will never, ever back down from the path I wanted to choose. Off screen. Zeoticus. Those words being followed by his wife. Then Alana. It sounds like she is saying goodbye, she said with concern for her deceased friend's son. Briaz, Rainer, Sona and Leisha were worried when they heard Mother Mrs. Gremory like that, while Kiba, Riser and Saji were serious when they saw the screen, along with the bad feeling. On screen. Issei. And it doesn't matter that I have to lose my life, I'll accept it, and it hurts not being able to fulfill what I swore and promised. Love, remember me. Issei. Until one day on the moon we meet again. The show Lucy on the moon while looking at a smiling Issei, to which she gives a sad smile accompanied by the appearance of a gauntlet on her left arm with a gem shining. Screen turns off. Sobs could be heard from some females including Riaz and Sona, while Leisha, Riser, Kiba and Saji clenched their fists as tears fell from their eyes. Azazel couldn't hold back and got on his knees, spread his wings and hugged himself. Surzich's had small tears, the humans had a bad taste in their mouths. Well, that's all, bye, I said awkwardly to leave. Tesla vs Beelzebub. How are you? I asked looking at Surzich's. So far so good, to see how Issei-kun died, he said with a sigh. Just when they see the dark Issei, I thought with a smile, well, now we will see a fight between Issei-Beelzebub and Nikola Tesla, so they will be surprised. Sona. A fight of intelligence? I asked while some imagined both of them in a game of chess. No, it's not a chess game, it's a fist fight to get Volley excited. Aika. And what is this Tesla like? I ask with displeasure, remembering how Tesla looks in the stories. This is Nikola Tesla. He couldn't take it anymore as a musician and became a demon. When the demon ended his inventor phase, electrical engineer, and so on came. Some women blushed because of Tesla's appearance while Aika. Look at that beauty. Being impaled, I scream with a perverted smile and blush. The women now blush as the men walked away from Aika. That's from sick people to get away from Aika too. Now yes, let's start. On screen. Issei. Everyone who was close to me suffered, everyone who was close to me died. They told me that I was cursed, that it wasn't my fault, that it was Beelzebub's fault. Off screen. Issei's friends were serious as they recalled the story of this variant of their friend, while Issei's close females were sad for the same reason. Serafal. Poor Ice-chan to lower his gaze slightly. Surzich's. It is one of the biggest consequences of having demon blood, he said seriously. Don't talk, Surzich's Gremory calling him by his real name. You only carry titles and nothing else. You don't have the blood of the original mass. You don't know the debate you had before, I said seriously. Ajuka. You mean being interrupted by me? Exactly, Ajuka Astareth, Shalba Beelzebub, Rizivum Lucifer, Crucery Asmodeus and Kateria Leviathan had a debate with their demonic side, which they sadly lost, locking away their human side, and the demonic side took control, I said seriously. And she's high. I don't even know how it occurred to me. Zeus. This got awkward in a moment, looking around. Michael. Let's move on, trying to lighten the mood. On screen. Issei. That's why I walked alone, I lived alone, I learned alone, I cried alone. No one wanted to get close to me until they tried to make me change. Samuel, Azazel, Lucifer, they had the same end. Curse you, Beelzebub. Off screen. Then Alana. Ice-chan was always alone, and when he is happy, they take him away while preparing emblematic energy of the Balbail clan. EventXX. What does Yusaka-sama think? I ask looking at the Yakai queen. Yusaka. We could help control his demonic blood, although for that we need someone else's help, she said while the Yakai nodded. Surzich's for some reason sank into place. On screen. Issei. Why would the one who wants to help me take them away? But it's my smile that will kill them. I was planning to put the Ani rap one, but the rap lyrics appear. Issei. Why? Tell me, why? And I finally understood that I can't be happy and I'll live like this. Off screen. Leisha. Calm down, Issei-kun, Leisha ni-sama will help you and take good care of you. Yufufu starts laughing with a perverted tone. Rias. You will not approach him, Leisha Astereth in a threatening tone. Leisha. And who will stop me? You? Rias Gremory. The bitch of the Crimson Ruin. With a slightly twisted smile that made some supernatural beings nervous but scared the humans. Sona. She is not alone along with Rias, while her peerage and Rias' peerage were on guard, and to her surprise, Riser joined in defense of the Gremory. Rainer. She is not alone either alongside Leisha while Kawalarna, Mitlet, and some angels sided with Leisha. Lee. Calm down, okay. Then they start grabbing each other in supernatural ways. Enemu. It was getting good with popcorn in hand. On screen. Heimdall. Let the 8th round of Ragnarok begin. Tesla. So you are Beelzebub, right? You are different than I thought, much better. If I am wrong in my research, I will grow just as humanity does. With trial and error. Off screen. Heimdall. Is that me? I ask looking at his version. I honestly don't know what you were thinking, but what can we do? To see the screen. Motohama. I don't know if you know, but I am a descendant of Nikola Tesla, clearly lying. What one says to get attention so that they see me. Nikola Tesla had no wife or children in his universe, in the other I don't remember, so that Motohama is ashamed and I see the screen. On screen. Issei. Advancement and creation, I don't care about either one, your time is up, I'm going to destroy your body, your Valkyrie, your ambition, it won't be much of a fight, so go say goodbye. Off screen. Roswius. Which Valkyrie is it? She asked looking at me. Your grandmother Gondel, showing a picture of the aforementioned. Roswius. He looks so different, she said surprised. Well yes, literally your grandmother is you, only older with a poker face. Auden. Let's continue looking at the screen. On screen. Tesla. No, Nain, non. That was not magic, it was science, it was a vibration, but my genius designed the super automaton to kill a god. Off screen. Surzich's. A descendant of Beelzebub being considered a god? I ask surprised. In that universe Lucifer, Azazel, Samael, Lilith and well not Beelzebub, but his descendant were considered gods or at least had some divinity, I said lazily. Ajuka. So the spears of light don't hurt him? I ask intrigued. There aren't even factions, so those present are surprised. On screen. Tesla. It's humanity's turn, you're not going to escape with speed, plasma pulse punch. I can't afford to fail in this situation. It's important to mention that the strength that a god has, our science can match. Off screen. The humans were excited to see how one of the best inventors was fighting a demon god, although Aika was the same as before when she saw Tesla. I'll leave her like this or I'll change her morals and that mind, I thought while looking at Aika. Mitsuda. Come on Tesla, kill that god and prove that humanity rules. He exclaimed excitedly, causing the gods and demons to look at him as auras began to surround them. Zeus. You dare, being interrupted by Surzich's while a celestial aura surrounded him. Surzich's. I mean now by Shiva while a crimson aura surrounded him. Shiva. Humanity rules. With mockery and a purple aura surrounding him. Amaterasu. Amiwa Mushindiryu while a shadow covered her eyes. Mitsuda. Nani. Exclaimed in fear due to the auras of the gods' demons. Susanoo. Shinii. While he launched a slash against Mitsuda and said slash electrocuted the human. Motohama. Well, we'll see each other later. It's better to have a warm egg that runs than a hard-boiled egg that breaks to run away from the gods in fear. On screen. Issei. Gates of hell, I'm not going to drag this out any longer. Tesla. What are you saying? My science has no limits. You don't have any limits either, as I imagined, as I thought, it was incredible, your strength increased per se. How did you do it? I know. It was that cane that seems to be useless, lend it to me, I want to see it, I want to know what it's for. Issei. It seems you didn't hear me. Off screen. Hibba. But hey, the unfriendly face never went away with a slight touch of humor. Rias. He has that face because he killed his friends, remember? To hit Kiba on the head. If lightning hits Kaminari, does it kill him or make him more powerful? I thought asked while watching the screen. Sona. Doesn't your horse think, Rias? She asked looking at her friend rival. Hineko. So many hits have already affected his memory. Kiba senpai in a monotone while looking at the screen. On screen. Tesla. No, Nain, Nayat, it had become clear to me that you are an arrogant god tending to be ignorant, that you are indeed ahead, because the present is in your hands, but the future belongs to humans. Off screen. Some gods were upset furious at how this human said that the future belongs to them, while other races factions agreed with what the god said or did not care. On screen. Tesla. The value and evolution of humanity allowed a god his power to imprison. Welcome to your cage. You see the earth is the cause of the absence of gravity with speed because I will give you. Issei. Oh just die, die. Tesla. Those were my Tesla steps. Here we go with another hit. Not bad but this isn't the end. Off screen. Leisha. Come on Issei, you can't lose, kill that human, and prove the demons are superior she thought as she began to despair worry about Issei. Shiva. I'm going to ask you something, Brat looking at the screen while some were watching it kill that human in the most spectacular way possible. At what the god of destruction Indu said, humans began to get nervous and pray for Tesla to win. On screen. Issei. I'm sick of seeing your clumsy techniques. Your fist won't touch me. It won't happen again. Tesla. No, Nayat, Nain, science never stops its development, kid. Behold me, the power of humanity is behind you. Screen turns off. Many were complaining because of the abrupt ending while I'm going to a battle of wise, goodbye sons of your holy mother, so that the demons get a headache and I leave they won't catch me alive to leave. Murayama. But no one was chazzing him with a flat face looking at her friend. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.